And voting booths will be busy in 15 states and one territory today for Super Tuesday.
It's considered a big prize in the presidential nominating process, but will we see any big developments? Doug Luzader is joining us now from Washington. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So, Doug, the Supreme Court handed former President Trump a major victory heading into Super Tuesday. More than a third of all GOP delegates are up for grabs today. Does this signal maybe a shift to the general election for him, or could former Ambassador Haley still have a chance?
Boy, she's got a lot of ground to make up. I mean, you look at the current delegate count heading into today. Nikki Haley has 43 delegates. Trump has 273. That's a huge Trump lead, to say nothing of the delegates he is likely to get through the course of the day today. Now, there are not enough delegates at stake today to put Trump or Biden over the edge to actually clinch the nomination, but both of them could come awfully close.
Now, this is pretty much shaping up to be a rematch of Biden versus Trump. So what would be some of the top issues for each of the candidates?
Well, you know, the issues that we've tracked in polling indicate that the economy is kind of back to number one. Immigration is right up there as well. The other thing has to do with age. And, of course, the Biden folks are making an issue of Trump's age. The Trump folks are certainly making an issue of Biden's age. The polling indicates that voters have more concern about President Biden's age than Trump's. But nevertheless, that's why, for instance, this week's State of the Union address is going to be so critical because that puts President Biden in a national platform where he has to literally deliver. So I think because of that, there's going to be a lot of attention paid to this week's State of the Union address, perhaps more than typical.
Absolutely. It'll be picked apart in a lot of different ways. So with 8 months still to go before November's election day, where does the actual election process go from here? Kind of walk us through what we should expect.
Yeah. Well, if everything holds the way we expect, President Biden could clinch the nomination by March 19th or so. For former President Trump, it may be on the 12th, depending on how things go for him today. So by the end of this month, you know, this could essentially be sealed in terms of what the two top candidates are going to be. Now, voters are not too excited about this. One thing for which there is bipartisan agreement in this country is that this is the matchup that most voters do not want to see, and yet we are heading in that direction.
Now, there are some other high-profile races across the country. So what else should we all be keeping an eye on this Super Tuesday?
Yeah, there's a lot more drama at with some of the local contests here. And when I say local, statewide contests, California, for instance, has a Senate race that's getting a lot of attention. North Carolina has a gubernatorial contest that's also going to get a lot of play today. But at the presidential level, there just is not a whole lot of drama heading into Super Tuesday, where typically there is. And you usually see these candidates going state to state to state to campaign. We've seen Nikki Haley out there doing that. But Trump and Biden have been, you know, relatively sedate in their campaigning here.
Well, we know there's probably drama to come.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. We appreciate it, Doug, as always.
Thank you.